Our businesses have created nearly 5.5 million new jobs, and this morning we learned that companies hired more workers in October than at any time in the last 8 months.
Unemployment today is higher than on the day Barack Obama took office. He has not met on the economy, or on the budget, or on jobs with either of the Republican leader of the House or the Senate since July.
Okay, the President and Governor Romney reacting to the October jobs report. Take a look at it. 171,000 jobs added. That was an uptick, though, of 7.9% unemployment rate, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The U6, that's the broader underemployment rate, if you will, is 14.6. That's about what it has been. And then if you look at the adjusted unemployment rate, this is the unemployment rate if the labor force was equal to what it was January 2009. Basically the same amount of people in the labor force, the workforce, it would be 10.5%.
These are numbers you get when you have a stagnant economy. This is stagnant unemployment. You're barely keeping up if you look at the number of jobs added. That's barely enough to keep up with the increase in population. Unemployment rate takes up. It's been hovering around 8%, a little above, a little below, for almost a year. I think people's perceptions of the economy have been fixed, unchanged for at least 6 months. So I think it has zero effect on the economy. I mean, on the election, in terms of people who vote on the economy. So I think it's probably a wash. I think Obama is lucky that it came in under 8%, so it's technically under 8, and he can talk about the increase in jobs since, in the last 8 months, which is a ridiculous number. But Romney's case is the same as the one he's made in the past, so I think it has no effect.
But Romney seems to be convinced of it. He gave his closing argument speech today in Wisconsin, and it was entirely about economic policy. He didn't mention national security at all, and he has yet to mention Benghazi. And I think, honestly, it's a dead-even race, and I think if Mitt Romney says tomorrow, Mr. President, we deserve answers about what happened on September 11th in Benghazi and in the White House on September 11th, what you did and what you didn't do, I think it could be the tiebreaker.
You're shaking your head?
Except that it's late. Had he done that in the third debate, that would have been a tiebreaker. Had he done it in the last week with all the revelations that have come out on Fox, especially, that would have been important. But to do it on the Saturday before Election Day will be portrayed by the media, which have ignored, of course, the Benghazi thing, but the media still have an incredible effect because everything is filtered through the media. It'll be portrayed as an act of desperation of a guy whose momentum was stopped and is now in retreat. And I think Obama is one of the luckiest politicians on earth. Sandy, the storm, I think helped him a lot. It came out of nowhere. Napoleon once said the one quality he admired or he wanted and demanded in generals more than any other was luck. Obama would have been a good general in Napoleon's army.
But I want to get to this back and forth over this one ad that's run in Ohio. It's a Romney ad. The President mentioned it today, and it's touched off this controversy.
Obama took GM and Chrysler into bankruptcy and sold Chrysler to Italians who are going to build Jeeps in China. Mitt Romney will fight for every American job.
You've got folks who work at the Jeep plant who've been calling their employers, worried, asking, is it true, are our jobs being shipped to China? And the reason they're making these calls is because Governor Romney's been running an ad that says so. Except it's not true.
Well, the head of Fiat and Chrysler confirmed the Romney ad had said the company intended to return Jeep production to China, the world's largest auto market, in order to satisfy local market demand. It's obviously touchy. There was one speech apparently where Romney said take the jobs from Ohio to China. The ad does not say that. Whether it infers that or not by running in Ohio, that's neither here nor there. But what's true is that Chrysler, Fiat, is building Jeeps in China, number one. Number two, models in Italy, including Jeeps, are going to be exported into the U.S. Charles, so what about this controversy?
Look, in a campaign where we have seen and heard ads telling unbelievable lies, for the media, New York Times had a front page above the fold story on this ad alone, pretending it was a news story as a way of attacking the ad. to concentrate on an ad that stretches the truth a little bit is unbelievable. Obama has been going around saying Romney wanted to liquidate the auto companies and destroy them and dissolve them and make them disappear into thin air. That is a lie. Obama said in the last debate, or in the second debate, that it was not true that oil and gas production had declined federal lands. Of course it had. Has there been any coverage of that? Zero. All of a sudden, the Jeep ad, which is a 1 on a scale of 10 in terms of stretching, is the cause célèbre of the day.
From this podium, I'm not going to be speaking about any aspect of the requirement to bring to justice those who were responsible for the Benghazi attack. I'm not going to speak about our conversations with other governments. I'm not going to speak about what we're learning or who we may be pursuing along with the Libyans.
Look, what makes a mockery of this whole pretense that they didn't learn it was an insurgent attack and a terrorist attack till later is the president in the second debate boasting that he had called it a terror attack on day one. Right. So that undermines the entire story, because then they spend the next 2 weeks talking about a video and denying with Susan Rice and others. So their own version of it is completely contradictory. And then there's the other aspect of it, the warnings ignored. We've been learning from your reporting, Jennifer's reporting, all the way through, is that they were warnings upon warning. Emergency meeting August 15th. Not a regular emergency meeting in which they warned they had no protection and they're trying to get help. And then we learned in the recent releases that one of the force, I think it was Force 17, that was supposed to be the local militia that was supposed to be on their side, that the guy, one of their guys was taking pictures of the compound, I think on the same day, which was, I mean, as large a warning as you could have, so it gave them a few hours to see. There was no way to rely on the force. And the CIA explanation for the stand down and the half-hour delay, it was that they were trying to get in contact with the Libyan protectors, but there were none, and they were actually defecting to the other side against us.
This has been a Sunfish production.